Next with the Spring Boot, Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a popular front-end framework for developing the responsive and then mobile-first website. What are the advantages of using the Bootstrap? It provides the responsive grid system, pre-styled component, and then consistent design. What is a Spring Boot grid system? A responsive layout system that uses a series of container rows, columns to align the content. How do you include the bootstrap in your projects? You can include the bootstrap via the cdn or by downloading it and linking the css and then js file. What is a container in the bootstrap? A fixed with or fluid with the element that wraps the site content and then provide the padding. What is the difference between the container and then container fluid? Container that has a fixed width, while container fluid takes the full width of the viewport. What are the bootstrap breakpoint? A specific viewport width at the which the layout changes, allowing for responsive design. How do you create the button using this bootstrap? Use the button element with the bootstrap classes like .btn primary. What is a bootstrap carousel? A slideshow component that cycles through the element like images or the text. How do you create a navigation bar in the Spring Boot using the navbar class with a nested in list and appropriate styling classes? What is the purpose of Bootstrap utility classes? They provide quick styling options for the space, alignment, and then other properties without the custom CSS. How do you customize the Bootstrap default style? By overriding the default CSS classes or using the custom Bootstrap theme. What is a Bootstrap model? A dialog box or the pop-up that is displayed on the top of the current page content. How do you create the forms in the Bootstrap? Utilize the dot form classes along with the dot form group and other form control classes. What is the purpose of Bootstrap JavaScript plugin? To add the dynamic functionality like model tooltip and then drop down. How do you implement a responsive image in the Bootstrap? Use the img fluid class to make images scale with the parent element. What is the role of the Bootstrap grid classes? Dot column md4. They define how many columns an event element should be span in a given breakpoint. How do you create a responsive table in the Bootstrap? Wrap the tables with the dot table responsive class. Horizontal scrolling on the small device. What is the Bootstrap typography? A set of styles and then classes to manage the font, heading, text alignment in a consistent way. What is the purpose of dot clear fix classes in the Bootstrap? To clear the floated elements within the container, ensuring the proper layout. How do you align the items using the Bootstrap? By using the flex utilities like dot flex and then alignment classes like justify content center and so on. What are the Bootstrap cards? Flexible and then extensible content container with various options for the headers, footers, and then more. How do you create a Bootstrap drop down? Use the drop down class with the nested elements for the trigger and then menu item. What is a bootstrap tooltip? A small pop-up box that provides additional information when hovering an element. How do you create the bootstrap jump button? Use the jump button class for a large attention grabbing content area. What is the use of data attribute in the bootstrap? They store custom data, provide private to the page or the application and can be used in the JavaScript. How do you implement the Bootstrap grid system in the HTML? By using the rows and then column with the appropriate classes for the responsive layout. What is the importance of a link tag for the Bootstrap? It links the Bootstrap CSS file to the HTML document for styling. How do you manage the custom styles along with the Bootstrap? Creating the custom CSS file and include it in it after the Bootstrap CSS file in the HTML. What are responsive utilities? Bootstrap classes that shows or hide the element based on the screen size. How can you Bootstrap to create a footer? Structure it with appropriate grid classes and then styles to match the design. What is Bootstrap container class used for? To center and then container constrain the width of the content for the consistent layout. How do you implement the accessibility in the Bootstrap component? Use area attributes and ensure that the components are navigable via the keyboard. What is the Bootstrap off canvas component? A component that provides a hidden navigation or content that slides in the form in from the side. How do you handle the form validation in the Bootstrap? By using the custom validation styles along with the HTML5 validation attributes. What is the function of the Bootstrap navbar toolbar? It controls the visibility of the navigation menu in a mobile view. How do you create a sticky navbar in the Bootstrap? By adding the dot sticky tab class to navigate navbar to keep it fixed at the top of the viewpoint. What is the Bootstrap grid system based on 12 column layout that allow for flexible and then responsive design? How do you handle the images in the Bootstrap grid? Image fluid class with the grid column to ensure the responsive behavior. How can you implement the Bootstrap themes? By using the third party themes or creating a custom theme with the variable and then style.